light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten into my points. I'm not
enslavement of people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you
I haven't
breeze
even
over.
finished the sentence. How am I making
You
light of
started
anything?
with some bullshit.
Okay.
Candace, same thing on the other side. How are we negotiating? What is the negotiation tactics so that we're not acquiescing to somebody else's agenda, but being clear about ours in the process of giving them our support?
Well, I would say the first thing is that it's important to identify what our agenda actually is. And I think that the most important thing for people in this room to understand is that there is a very small window. Right now, the black vote is the most important vote in the country. There's a very small window before our vote's not going to matter. These conferences won't matter, and us sitting here won't matter. Because illegal immigration, if you're looking at the numbers, every new birth in this country, 60% of all new births are Hispanic Americans. And the Democrats are about, listen, you're saying, let me get to the point. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. I say illegal is the new black because it's true, and there's a reason why they're advocating for open borders. Right now, our vote means a lot, but new births of black Americans have stagnated. The population growth within black America has stagnated. So the things that I pay attention to are the numbers. I pay attention to the birth rates in this country, which is why I'm pro putting something down to stop illegal immigration. The second thing that I think is really important, you may have heard me testify in front of Congress, is the illiteracy rates that are facing black America. 75% of black boys in California can't pass a reading exam. Across Baltimore, they looked at 5 schools. They couldn't find a single black boy that was a single black child that could pass a basic reading or a math exam. So I caught a lot of slack because I said this is a Democrat plantation, but I meant what. And
she's not lying. They're trying to do away with just basic standards of education. Like math is suddenly racist. Like the standards are just horrible. And you look at what is being prioritized in the culture. It's athleticism, entertainment, just court justice nonsense. The things that actually promote growth and development in a society and a community, those things are, square. Pretty soon, just if you exist and you show any inclination towards bettering yourself, you're racist.
What I said. If you look historically at what the plantations were when we were slaves, there were 3 things that were necessary for them to run. The first was our ignorance. Black Americans were not allowed to learn how to read unless we would have our limbs chopped off. And that was because an educated mind cannot be enslaved. So the fact that our education, that our schools are in this condition in the inner cities and all throughout America and not a single candidate is talking about it is problematic to me. I think that that's a huge negotiating tool for me. We need to be talking about the inner city schools. Another component, and this is the biggest issue that I think is facing black America today, which was important to maintaining the plantations, was the breakdown of family. The biggest issue facing black America is father absence. We have children that are growing up without their fathers in the home, and that is being incentivized by the government right now via the welfare system. When the government says we'll give you more money if you don't marry the father of your children, you are incentivizing bad behavior in our community. What happens when you remove a father from the home? This is why I do not mess with feminism at all. I'm not with it. This breakdown and mocking masculinity, making it seem like there's something wrong to be a man, all of this contributes to the breakdown of family. When you
All right, y'all,
remove...
hey, hold on. So, hold on, brother, hold on. There's going to be an opportunity for each of you to engage. But I want to make sure this sister has the right to talk while she's here. That's why we invited her. So listen.
It's truly insane. They can't even let her speak without interrupting, man. Like, what? Just insane.
Say what she needs to say, and then let's keep it moving. Come on, y'all.
The single motherhood rate in the 1960s in black America, and they thought that...
Now, hold on. I want to finish this. This is on your behalf. At a certain point, we can't be assholes. At a certain point, these are black men and women, and in particular, these are black women. On some real G shit. It doesn't matter how you feel about her personally. Everything she has just said, Louis Farrakhan said for the last 25 fucking years. So, no, and I don't know if she's a fan of Farrakhan. I know me and Tamika are. Bam. But you cannot take the truth and be mad at who tells it to you. So just chill, bro. Shut the fuck up. Let her say it and receive the information. That's it.
Somebody had to say it.
I apologize. I digress.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much.
I want you to continue because I was listening.
Yeah. So, I've been turned into public enemy number 1. I say the same thing when I hit every stage. The single motherhood rate in the black community in the 1960s, before Lyndon Baines Johnson started the Great Society Act, was 23%. At that time, that was considered very high. 23% of black people growing up without a father in the home. The single motherhood rate in the black community today is 74%. 74% of our children are growing up without a father in the home.
Federal government creating zones has normally been the places where gentrification starts first.
Okay, so that was my point. I had a question for both of you young ladies, and Candace, we spoke many times, and you're a brilliant young lady. But my question to you is, how is it that you can support yourself? I mean, that you can support and align with a constituency that will not denounce white supremacy? So that means your son or daughter, or any of your brothers or any of your family members, if they are caught out there by a policeman who is in a covert, undercover white supremacist and get gunned down, this constituency will have absolutely nothing to say about it.
Such a childlike and cartoonish view of the world. Like, the worst part is these are the ones promoting sex, guns, drugs, violence in the community. These guys, but they're on these stages talking about how to improve the conditions of Black America. You've poisoned the well, and you have the arrogance to sit in front of the community and tell them how to get clean water, bro. Like, what?
Please, let me answer this question.
And we can't. And although what you're saying is a lot of the things that you're saying are absolutely factual. A lot of the things that you're saying have merit, but I can't even get to that before I address the disregard for young Black lives.
I love it.
You will not speak up on it at all.
Love this.
The disregard for young Black lives. This is a rapper who talks about killing Black people, selling drugs to Black people, abusing in all sorts of ways Black people, yet is concerned about the disregard for Black bodies. These people are cartoonish. This is a guy who's made millions. He's made millions literally off of the disregard for Black bodies.
Question, I will
All of
address
the
it.
things
See,
that you
I
spoke
love
on from opportunity zones.
it. I love that we're talking about white supremacy.
Okay,
I'll answer the question.
I say, excuse me. I didn't interrupt you.
So thank you, Ted. Well, hold on, Katrina. I want Candace to talk about your first point, and then Katrina, you respond to the second point.
All right, so to tackle the white supremacy thing, your question was a fallacy because you said you insinuated that he has not denounced white supremacy.
Yes.
Somebody please, go to his Twitter feed right now.
He
Go
said,
back to
"Who
the
is the
shootings."
KKK?
He said, no, because we gotta tell the truth. I
He
said,
said,
stop.
"Who is the
No,
KKK?"
now you're cutting me off, right? There we go. Now we're even.
What he said was that.
So listen.
What he said was that there was good.
No,
on both
let me
sides
finish.
of white
Stop.
supremacy. That's
Because
what
you
he
guys
said.
are so hot.
The fact that people still believe in this stuff is nonsense.
You know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly.
That's a clear mischaracterization of what he said, too. That's just a clear mischaracterization of what he said. He condemned those people, but he's saying that there were probably some people in that group who were not like that, and they just wanted to protest the principle of taking down statues.
On Charlottesville, and nobody heard the entire clip. I want to talk about why we get manipulated. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not even trying to make this like a contentious moment, because this is literally why Black America loses right here. Because we allow people with cameras to go hear a whole speech, like they do this to me all the time. They take out a couple of sentences you said, and they create a whole new headline. And people that were not there get incensed and get emotional, and don't actually go back to hear what was actually said in full context. They do it to me all the time. I know they do it to Trump. He has denounced white supremacy so many times. It's something ignored. Somebody counted up 24 times, and it's on his Twitter feed. So if you want to fact check me, go back to a couple of weeks ago when the shootings happened. He said America is no place for white nationalism and white supremacy, and it's an issue that has to be tackled. I'm paraphrasing. You can go find it.
Although
So
he calls himself a nationalist.
Secondly,
He calls himself a nationalist.
stop. You can fact check me. I'm either lying to your face. You can go on Twitter right now. You can do it live.
So which one do you want us to believe? The first thing he says or what he says after the media comes after?
No, I'm talking about
because the first thing he said was that
you're asking a different question than T.I. did. T.I. said, how can you work for an administration that has never denounced white supremacy? You're talking about
I'm
Charlottesville.
talking about talking points that come out later. But what he starts with is racism. That's what comes out his mouth when he starts.
See?
We
And let me
look
tell you
at how
something.
many mass
And let me
shootings by white
and let me
supremacists
tell you why the black vote is the easiest vote for Democrats to keep for the last 60 years. All they have to do to get our vote, let me tell you something. If people know what you fear, you are the easiest person to control. The Democrats have figured out that Black America is emotionally responsive to the word racism. She says racism.
Exactly. I don't know how she's able to sit here and talk with these people. It's like you just are speaking to a bunch of people who are so emotional they can't even parse fact from fiction. They believe a version of events that didn't even take place. They're so emotional. Everyone in the crowd like cheering and clapping, proving the point. These people are just truly such a sad state to be in. They're so easily manipulated. You just got to bring in a boogeyman and they'll vote whatever side you want them to.
You jump up and you start cheering. You haven't even listened to what I've said to rebut it, okay?
Cheer. But it's the
100%. The biggest issue. Let me finish. The biggest issue facing Black America is not white supremacy. When Trump said there were good people on both sides, he was talking about the fact that some people that were in the Charlottesville rally, and he could have paraphrased that better, he could have said something better, literally came there because they don't believe that statues should be torn down, okay? Other people came there because they were upset that amongst the people that came there to watch the statue be torn down were also white nationalists. So what he meant was there were some people that were just there using their First Amendment right. There were some people that were there to respond to the white nationalists, and a big mess happened. I'm not trying to defend him or relitigate a situation. I'm saying that being hung up on that is allowing you to not look at an administration that is tackling so many issues in Black America right now. I do not consider myself a Republican. I definitely am not a Democrat, but Trump woke me up. I used to be liberal. Trump woke me up to the idea that we're being manipulated by the word racism every 4 years.
So wait.
Every 4 years. They call everybody racist.
All right, we're gonna get into this because what I'm concerned about is how is that any different than the fear that Trump has created in poor whites? The fear that Trump has lifted in poor whites, that black people and poor urban people are their problem.
Right.
When did Trump ever say that?
Like, when did he raise that fear? Like, they believe in, like, it's so sad to see that these people just believe in a version of reality that isn't reality. Like, that didn't happen.
That's a fallacy. When did Trump ever say black people are
Make
the problem?
America great again. That's when he said it.
Guys,
but I'm not on the pound.
That was Ronald.
Wow. Again, these people are performative in their activism. So him saying make America great again is making poor white people fear black people? What? Like, man, these people, I don't even know why Candace Owens went to this panel.
Reagan slogan. Was that racist when Ronald Reagan had it as a slogan?
Yes, what time?
It was.
Yes, let me ask you.
so
Please answer this. Please answer this. I have a question. Please just allow me just one outburst. Please, I have a question. When you say make America great
Please just allow me one outburst. There you go. Said the quiet part out loud.
again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America?
So I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said make Black America great again. Because Black
No,
America,
make America.
before,
We're talking about
that's
make
not
America.
But
That wasn't the question.
I am answering
Which
your question.
period was America great that we're trying to replicate?
Well,
Which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
Tell me.
I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all.
I mean, objectively speaking, America has had many great eras. America has been great for a long time. Because if America has never been great, nowhere has ever been great. Because every country had issues with civil rights. And some continue to. But that doesn't mean they weren't great. If America was never great, nowhere was ever great. If you're basing greatness on country's history with civil rights. Just because there were issues with civil rights does not mean a country was not great. There are many ways greatness is measured in. Economic output, economic mobility, well-being of the average citizen. These sorts of things that seem to be declining.
I want to like you so bad. Because you're so smart. I want to like you so bad.
I want to hear you. I want to be.
Like, truly, it's such a sad display. But anyways, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree or disagree? Maybe I'm off base. I don't know. Comment below and subscribe.